So earlier on I had recorded a video just before I went to the spinning class this afternoon down at the leisure centre, and I'm so tired. The video was just to try and give an idea for me of how I felt before I went to the class, so I could look back at it and see, just as a video diary basically for myself, but also for anybody who's interested, to try and get an idea of how autism or Asperger's can impact on someone. Now I went to the class, and like I was saying in the previous video, I was tired. I think I said I was tired. I was tired. Look at my eyes. I was tired. I was a bit stressed, tense, struggling with it. I knew I was anxious about what it was going to be like and how things were going to be. I got to the leisure centre, and that was all fine. It was all kind of as expected. The only thing was you had to pay a deposit to be able to have a locker, and it was a £5.50 deposit, which is a fair amount, for a deposit for a locker, I think. And I didn't have that in cash, and you had to pay by cash. You couldn't pay by card, and I nearly went home at that point. Never said to the woman I was talking to, didn't let her know that I was bothered or upset, or that this had thrown me. Because what she had told me was I'd have to take my bag into the classroom, and I'd have to leave it just in the corner in the classroom, which is what a lot of new people would do. And I was thinking, oh God, that's going to mark me as being new. I don't want to be standing out whatsoever. So, I really wasn't keen on that idea. That's a tiny thing, it's really, or it should be a tiny thing. It's not, it really isn't. Well, looking back at it now, it's not, but I think I think I was looking for a way of not having to go. I was looking for a way out, and that could have provided it. And then I could have been justifiably annoyed with the leisure centre, and then I wouldn't have had to deal with my stuff. And yeah, it wasn't good that they hadn't said that, but it really isn't the end of the world either, But the thing I've been thinking today is, sometimes I just hate my brain. I think it's trying to kill me. It's everything. It's every single little tiny detail. All of life. None of life is simple. It's just, okay, again, I don't know if you saw the video I did earlier on, but I did a video about when something's an Asperger symptom and when it's not. And I mentioned the extent and the frequency. And here, this kind of stuff, the kind of difficulties I had today, is a perpetual thing. It's always there in one way, shape or form. And the question then is the extent that it's there. And yeah, I'm off colour at the moment. I'm in poor sorts. and things are much, much more significant at the moment than they would be normally. Yeah, and my brain's very much looking for a weakness so it can pounce, and I did today big style. I wore myself out today. I'm talking about my brain in the third person because if I attribute all of this to my brain, then it's not me. Yep, aye, crackpot. But that's really the point. It's just, it really is. It just seems to be absolutely everything in life. There's always something. It's never. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it today. I enjoyed it. But it's always something. Another thing I did when I was out today was I kept in mind this idea of faking it until I make it. So quite often I'll go, when I was diagnosed, I was told that I had quite an intense stare, and I do. If I'm looking at you at the moment, I'm looking at the camera, like I would look at a person normally. And I think, I can't see myself right now, but I think that's pretty intense, having seen some of my earlier videos. So today I decided I was going to try and take that down a notch and consciously hooded my eyes a wee bit. So I presume now my eyelids are maybe cutting across the top of my irises. Yeah. Whereas I think normally I tend to be much more starey. And I have to consciously tell myself, look away, look away, look away. Don't stare at someone all the time. Fortunately today I wasn't really talking to anybody apart from the woman at the cash desk in the leisure centre, so that was okay. But it was a conscious thing, so I think that's something I'll try and work on. The other thing that I was trying to work on today was actually to observe. I don't know if you've seen it's a girl called the Anmish. Thanmish. Have a look at her YouTube channel if you haven't seen it already. She's really, really like her stuff. She's Asperger. But she talks about observing stuff in one of her videos and just sitting back and watching what's going on. And I did that today. Normally when I'm in a room full of people, I just feel like my brain's screaming. It just, again, I'm referring to my brain in the third person, but there's just so much white noise in my head at times that I find it very hard to take in what's going on around me, and I begin to shut down. And depending how bad it can be, it's almost like a white veil just comes slowly down and starts to obscure everything that I can see. And it's like, it's like looking through a curtain. It just becomes slightly less aware of the world. But today, overload, I think that's called. I think it's sensory overload that's called. But today what I was doing was I was trying to actually watch and look around. I was in the exercise bike in actually that corner because the camera's flipped. I was in the exercise bike in the back corner of the room here. So I was able to look around and see everybody else in the class. And, I was, watching what were they doing? Were they talking to each other? Were they watching the instructor? Were they looking at the floor? What were they doing? And I started getting a bit of an idea of what they were doing, so I could copy that behaviour. Some of it's pretty obvious, but I was sitting next to a guy, and I thought, you have to talk to him, you have to speak to him, you have to make some kind of small talk. And I felt this pressure in myself, you've got to conform, you've got to fit in, you've got to be normal. And I was looking around, and he wasn't talking to me, he wasn't talking to anybody else around him. So I took my cue from that, and actually, I could feel, the weight lift a wee bit at that point. Just felt it coming off my shoulders because I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do something that was going to be maybe more tricky for me. The other people in the class weren't talking to each other. And then at the end, they all just went and left. And I made sure I was one of the last people to leave, so I could just walk out the door easily without not having to be in the thick of things and having to maybe talk to people or feeling the need that I should talk when it wasn't really required. So, yeah, I don't know, like, Asperger's, I know that Asperger's doesn't really affect me too badly. I think Asperger's and autism can have a huge degree. It can impact on people a whole lot worse than it does on me. I'm pretty well okay, I can get through life. People probably think he's a wee bit off, but I can get through life pretty well. Without incident, well, that's not true. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. But, it's just, I don't think I'm that severely affected, and I still have to look around and watch stuff. I have to learn things that somebody who's not in the autistic spectrum wouldn't have to do. And it's absolutely exhausting. It's 10 to 10 at night, and I'm ready for my bed. Normally I'll go to bed at 12, be asleep by 1 or something. It's 10 to 10 tonight, and I can hardly keep my eyes open. And I just hope I can get the idea across that, it's so tiring, and I don't know, you need to manage your condition. I've been managing my condition today, and I'm still shot. I'm absolutely knackered. So just to try and give you an idea of some of the things that folk can go through, and I'm not that severely affected. People who are, more severely touched by autism than I am, this is going to be goodness knows how much worse for them. So, it's 9 minutes to 10 now, so I'm definitely going to bed. Okay, thanks, and hope everything's good with everybody.